Hi everyone, welcome back to the White Table. I'm your host, Brittany Williams. White Table is a place where wives meet for real, raw, honest conversation. So I want to say thank you for joining us. Today's episode is titled, Pouring into Your Spouse, Showing Up for Them in Real Life. But before we put things on the table, I really have to shout out and thank KW Portrait Studio, a creative space for families and local creators. From self-portraits to podcasts, they help bring your vision to life. For more details about KW and how you can book your next visit, see the details down below. So with further ado, I have the privilege to welcome my special guest. Y'all welcome Natasha Russell to the White Table. Welcome.
Thank you. Oh my goodness.
Sis, I am honestly so happy that you're here.
Thank you.
I feel blessed, y'all. She does this in real life, so we're learning from her today, okay? No. But sis, I want to say before we jump in that I'm so blessed that you're here. Thank you for your yes. I appreciate you. We're friends in real life. And I'm a fan of you. I'm a fan of how you're impacting the world and all that you do in content creation. So y'all keep doing it. I'm going to put her details below so you can follow her. But Tosh, from my heart to you, thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here at the White Table, and I'm just excited. I'm actually learning from you. We're all learning together. We're growing together. And so I'm excited for you guys to just tune in. Make sure that you subscribe. Make sure that you follow along because this is honestly amazing, and I know it's going to benefit you. So thank you for having me, B.
Absolutely, Tosh. This is not the first time y'all gonna see her. We're gonna see. All right, so let me just jump in now to Tasha's bio. I want to introduce you to her the right way, okay? So Natasha is a woman of faith who wears many hats, from worship leader to wife to entrepreneur, yes, and podcast host. Y'all check out her podcast. We're gonna talk about that later, okay? Where she leads authentic conversations about how faith intertwines with everyday life. With a unique mix of professional background and serving in ministry. From a young age, she brings both practical insight and heartfelt purpose and preparation. She's passionate about helping women embracing new seasons and helps them prepare for the transition from singleness to wifehood with resilience, intention, and hope. I love this. It's beautiful. She loves the Lord. Yes, amen. We all do. And is the faithful wife of her husband, Nicholas Russell. Shout out, Nick.
Yes.
All right. Tashi, once again,
Yes.
welcome.
Thank you.
So we're going to jump into some rapid fire, y'all. By the way, can I just say and pause right here? This is unscripted. Tosh has no idea of the questions I'm going to be asking today. And we did that for a reason. We want her responses to be as authentic as possible. So you'll find that with all of my guests. They don't know what's going on. They only know what the topic is. And that's basically it.
Yeah. And we're here for it.
Absolutely. So we're here for the real, raw, conversation today. Mm-hmm. All right. So we're jumping in with some rapid fire and then we'll get started.
Okay.
So what is your most used emoji?
Ooh. Okay, I'm obsessed with the yellow heart right now.
Okay, heart.
Yeah, it's giving like sunshine, joy. It's that. Like just, it's like that ray of sunshine.
Okay.
That love, you know?
Okay. Yeah. What is the best concert you've ever been to?
Oh, best concert. Okay. That's hard. I don't know. I haven't really attended a lot of concerts.
Okay.
So
where do you if you had to pick a concert, then where would you say you want to go?
I'd probably like to see the Clark sisters.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one. Let's go together.
Yeah,
absolutely. Done. Okay, city or beach?
Ooh, that's hard. The beach. The beach.
Yes, please. Mm-hmm. I need that. This is a funny one. What's your go-to karaoke song?
Ooh. I wanna dance with somebody. I wanna feel like the summer.
Okay.
Give me some Whitney. I love
there
her.
we go.
Let's
Whitney for the win.
Yeah.
Okay. We're getting into your business a little bit.
Yeah.
What's the last thing you bought online? Nick, plug your ears.
What's the last thing I bought online? Had to be something for my business for sure. Yeah, I think probably content, like software.
Love it.
Yeah.
Morning person or night owl?
Oh, night owl. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm up all hours of the night.
Okay, let's see how that happens when you have babies. Yeah. Okay, because I'm in my bed by 8 o'clock, y'all. So I love that for you, though, Natasha. I do.
Pray for me in advance.
Absolutely. And what's your favorite comfort food, if you have any?
Pasta. Absolutely, yeah.
Any specific kind? Like spaghetti or?
No. Well, I think I like anything rosé. I like a mix of sauces, but I'm more of like a cream versus tomato girl.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. And I guess the last rapid fire, what is your favorite season and why?
This is a good question. I love fall. I feel like it's so beautiful. It's transitional. I used to love summer. I'm a summer baby. But I think that there's a beauty of like the in-between. And I love the fashion. Like you can just be like bougie. You can still like kind of do summer transitional to winter, but it's not like it's too cold. So I love fall.
I love that. Okay, y'all. Give it up for Tosh. She did a fantastic job with those rapid fire. Thank you, Tosh, for doing that. Okay, we're ready to jump in. So here at the wife table, there's a few signature questions I'd like to ask my guests. So we'll start there and then we'll dig a little bit deeper into the topic, okay?
Yeah.
So let's jump into the first question. And the question is, what season of marriage are you currently in? I know, we're coming hot. We're coming hot.
That's the deep end, you guys. Listen, I thought we were easy. Okay. What season of marriage am I currently in? Honestly, I'm in a season of marriage right now where it's just enjoyable.
I love that.
Yeah, like we've been married for about 2.5 years at this point. To God be the glory. First year, and I know it's different for everyone, but the first year for us was rough. And that was really, I talk about it, embracing new season. I have a book that's out in regards to that. And I love to help women because of my own experience, right? And I love everything about being married, but it was really a huge leap embracing the mindset of what it really means to be married, and the sacrifice that is necessary, especially being an independent woman, a boss woman, going out doing her own thing. So it was rough in the beginning, but it was necessary to go through that transition and the season that we had, really fighting to get to know each other and to get into a group. And now we're really reaping the rewards. And I mean, it's only been 2.5 years, but we're much better than we were before. And it's just so enjoyable. I love being married to my husband. He is amazing. We're just enjoying life in between until kids come in the picture, potentially.
I love that for you guys because, and this is one of the main reasons I started this podcast, because I feel like social media paints marriage in such a negative light.
Right.
But the fact that you can say you're happily married, happy marriages still exist.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
And Tasha's clearly saying she's happily married. Will you always be happy? Maybe not. There's going to be rough seasons.
Yes.
But the fact that you're saying you're in a happy, I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy for you guys. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you kind of touched on it, but let's go a little bit deeper. What did you believe being a wife was before you got married? And what's the biggest reality check?
Wow. Yeah, these questions are really good. You know what? I think there's two aspects of it. You kind of you hear people say marriage is a lot of work,
right? Or
that, the realities of marriage, you're not going to be happy all the time, or it's not this fairy tale. But I think being inundated with a lot of information and with fairy tales, society tells us this is what marriage is supposed to look like. You go on social media, you see, he's taking her out for dinner, he's flying her here, flying her there.
That part.
It builds an expectation sometimes subconsciously that you're not even aware exists until you're in it. And then you're like, oh, so now I gotta reality meets my expectations that were there that I didn't know. So for me, it was the same, off the rip, and I always say this and I get a lot of slack for it, but I stick by my story. I never knew that I would marry my husband because he really wasn't my type. He wasn't when I envisioned who I would marry, the type of guy that I would marry, he was very different. And a lot of the qualities and the type of man that I had made up in my mind, it was superficial.
Come on.
He wasn't real, right? And then, but the characteristics of the man that I wanted to marry was my husband. It was who he was. He embodied those characteristics. Wow. And so, you know, when we took the leap of faith and we started talking and eventually got married and, you know, reality hits now, I started to realize, okay, it's just me having to, put down my expectations that were not rooted in the truth, rooted in actually what I desired, what God also wanted for me. Because, you know, being a believer, it's also, to some degree, if I've given my life over to Christ and I say, okay, Lord, like, I give you all of me, then I want his will for my life. And sometimes that doesn't look like what we think it should look like, but it's weird because the package may not look like what we think it should look like, but the thing that we're really wanting, it's in that person who doesn't look like what we think they should look like.
That's beautiful, Tosh.
So if you can grasp that,
yeah. And I can relate to that 100% because I told Jesus I did not want a musician.
Yeah.
I did not want a preacher.
Yeah.
And that's exactly who my husband is. Yeah. So I feel like God has a sense of humor, but also he knows what's best for us at the end of the day. And to your point, when we're submitted to him, we have to trust him with all aspects. So I love that you said that, y'all. Yeah. So your husband may not look like Idris Elba, folks, ladies. Yeah. Come on. Yeah. But he's everything that the Lord is preparing for you in this season.
And I'll just insert a caveat real quick. Like, that doesn't mean that you settle on, like, being attracted to a person is important, 100%. But it's just letting down your expectations, like these high standards that sometimes are unrealistic, to be like, God, like, I want a man who looks good, but he's also good. Because what's the point of having a man that looks good, but he's no good in terms of being in the will of God and his character?
Absolutely.
Listen, this means that I don't want somebody who looks good. I want somebody who is good.
She preaching early. Like, that's what she does. And I couldn't agree more. Yeah. That kind of brings me to the next question as we're digging a little bit deeper. Yeah. How has faith shaped wifehood for you and how you show up in your marriage?
This is a really good question as well. You have all good questions. It really has, like, you know what? Sometimes we say it like Jesus in the center of it all. And I think that sometimes we say it as a cliche statement. We don't really realize what that means. And for me, faith has shaped my wifehood in that I really have to depend on the Lord to be a good wife.
Come on.
Because naturally, I am not the best. Like, I'll tell you, being with my husband, being with Nick has shown me, like, I'm not always the best person. I'm not as selfless as I would want myself to be. Like, it's easy to be selfish to your friends, or when you're not really around them all the time, or when you're not doing life with them, or when their decisions don't impact you. But when you're walking with someone every day and your decisions impact each other and you gotta move together, then there comes I'm selfish. I don't want to do it. He's annoying me. He's pissed me off. I'm gonna just go to my own corner. You do what you want to do. That's the flesh. Like, it will want to rise up. And so for me, it's really being submitted to the Lord. And it's not just something that we say, but it's really like, God, I want to be able to love my husband the way that you want me to love him, the way that you love me. Help me to do that.
Wow.
And so, it's being submitted to the Lord. It's the only way.
That's beautiful. Yeah. I made this joke, but it's true. And I said that when my husband was quote unquote acting up to, in my perspective, to me, I would tell Jesus on him.
Oh, for sure.
Jesus, your son.
Come get your child.
Come, please. Because if you don't get him, Lord. So I agree with you. Like, that piece of it, that was my way of submitting that to God and acknowledging him, but also bringing my husband into the picture and saying, okay, God, like, I really need your help here.
Yes. Yeah.
I love that. Okay. So y'all, we're jumping into the topic now, which is showing up for your spouse. And I picked this topic, Tosh, for you because I feel like you do this so well.
Oh, wow.
And the messages that you share online about how you can do that. Not only the messages, Tosh, but some of the video, the content that you produce, actually showing us how you show up for your husband. I was like, this is something I need Tosh to talk to us about because I feel like you're doing a great job at this.
Thank you. That's actually very kind of you.
Absolutely. So let's jump into that piece. My first question on the topic is, what does showing up for your spouse mean to you?
Showing up for Nick really is... and just for anyone, showing up for your spouse, I think, is really setting aside I wouldn't say necessarily your desires, but setting aside yourself and, like, your preferences, what you would want to do in a moment to really show them love is really what it is. It's sacrifice. And sometimes the sacrifice isn't laborious, but it's just like, okay, for example, I would, maybe it's considering them. Like, I'd rather go out with my girlfriend, or I want to do this. And he's like, babe, I haven't spent time with you, or whatever the case may be. And it's like, okay, you know what? I'm going to set aside what I would normally do to consider him and to show an effort. Other times it looks like he doesn't have to say a word. Like, my husband, he loves food. And me, I've actually realized that I've always loved to cook, but I never really had to.
Right.
And so now for me, it's also like, how can I go out of my way to show him love in ways that, express or speak his love language out without him having to say anything? Ooh. And I think that that's a key part, right? It's like, listen, I see you, I know you, I hear you. It validates your spouse without you having to be like, okay, like, tell me how you want to be loved. Like, it's good to have those conversations, but when they do tell you, are you actually showing them? Are you enacting it? Or are you just having the conversations? And that's something that I try to be intentional about, showing up for him.
I love that. And I think one of the key things that you mentioned is the fact that you know him.
Yes.
And you're still learning him.
Yes.
And guess what? We change and we evolve. Yeah. And you're going to have to keep relearning your spouse over and over again. Absolutely. Shaq and I have been together officially 10 years.
I can't imagine.
Right? Like, 10 years is a decade.
Yes.
7.5 of those married and 2.5 of those courting, dating, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And the Shaq I knew back then is not the same person I know today. Mm-hmm. And so I love the fact that you're intentional about knowing him and learning him. Yes. So thank you for sharing that. If you're taking notes, write that one down, yeah. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, and you need to get out of my questions, because literally that was my next question, is some things that you do on a consistent basis to show up for Nick. Mm-hmm. I'll still pose that to you. Yeah. But are there certain things that maybe are a part of your routine or your day-to-day life that you incorporate into your marriage to show up for Nick?
Yeah, it's, so I would say definitely cooking is one of them, like, taking on that load. And meeting that, because that's really his thing. Like, he really loves
his
food.
love language.
Yeah, it is. No, it is. They missed out that love language. Yeah, food is definitely it. Like, absolutely. I remember when we were dating, I was like, so what do you like? Words of affirmation? No, not really. And then as I grew, I was like, oh, so it's just food. Yeah. Like, if we go and do things surrounding food, if we include food, you're there. Okay, great. That's easy too, right? So yeah, I would say that. And then the other thing is, my husband, he loves the church. He loves faith, like, I mean, a different level. And so one of the things that I've recently been learning is to show up for him in that way. So when he goes to preach, or, sharing support, listening back to the messages and giving him words of encouragement, advice, or just affirming him, being like, babe, I see you. I see your growth. Wow. Like, I see where you started. I see where you are. And I know that God is going to continue. And just praying for him. Wow. But it's not always loud. Like, it's just the little moments.
Come on. Yeah. Get out of my notes. The little things. Yeah. That is such a key thing that I've learned, because I feel like it's the little things that can build up the marriage, or that can tear down the marriage. Yes. Like, it's not the big things. It's the small annoyances. It's the small, oh my God, I can't believe that. It's the little thoughts that come and fester into your mind. And the fact that you talked about that, I love it. Mm-hmm. Okay, the little things, right? Yeah. So how do you show up when there's a conflict facing you?
Girl, do we want the truth, or we want the little cute?
The real raw? Yeah, that's what we want.
Okay, so Tosh, I'm avoidant. It's very funny. I'm very much confrontational with other people.
Interesting.
With my friendships, but when it comes to the people closest to me, sometimes I'm very much avoidant. So I shut down easily. Wow. Yes. And I know it's weird. So for me, in the beginning, I had to really learn, like, I would shut down, or my facial expression would change, and I'd be trying to, kind of just figure out how I'm feeling, process things. And so I've learned, because Nick is very different. And for him, it's like, okay, if you're gonna do all of the things, or just be heated, or just shift your like, for him too, he's avoidant, but it's weird. We're avoidant in different ways. So what we've learned is, give space. But for me, if I'm not able to verbally speak how I'm feeling, I text him. It's weird. He could be over there and I'm here, and I'm like, you know what? So that I'm not disrespecting you, and I'm also not just working based off my emotions. I'm going to actually process how I'm feeling, and I'm going to write it out. Or I'll be like, you know, sometimes it's as simple as speaking it out and just being like, hey, what you did, this is how it made me feel. This may not have been your intention. And I think that's another key thing is realizing, because immediately the thought that comes in your mind is, how could he? How dare he? That's how we feel, right? Like, you're supposed to be my husband. Why would you? But I think when we rehearse this narrative, like, and you come from the place immediately, it was not his intention. Right. If his intention was not to harm me, we immediately also disarm what we're feeling, and we can come from a place of understanding. Can you explain to me why you did what you did? Wow. You know, and then we let them. Give them an opportunity, and then believe them and say, okay, well, hey, you know what? Going forward, I actually would prefer that you not do this. I don't like this. And that's okay for you to voice that. And then the other thing that I really, really think is important too is tone is everything. I've learned this. Girl, I've had to work on it. Yes. I can be very aggressive. I can be very like to the point, hey, don't do it. And I've had to learn to be like, you know what? Again, the way that you did this or what you did, it really just, I didn't like it. And I say it like that.
What I'm hearing you say is it's not about like what you say, it's how you say it, how you approach the situation. And I think also to your mind, it brings me to the scripture, 1 Corinthians 13, that love thinks the best of your spouse or the other person. And I'm guilty of that too, if I can be honest.
So many of them.
And sometimes you assume that your spouse is doing something to hurt you or to harm you. But in reality, their intention could have been quite the opposite, and it was just the execution was off.
Exactly. Yes, absolutely.
So, I thank you for highlighting that. And so if you were to then encourage the wives who are listening or the wives who are looking to be wives, preparing to be wives, what are some ways that you think wives can show up for their husbands?
Yeah, I would say, first and foremost, like, really get to know your husband, take note, but don't just have the conversations. Like, actually, I have an iPhone, and in the contacts aspect or part of your phone, if you go into a specific contact, there's a note section. When we were dating, I literally, as we were having conversations, I would note down things about Nick that he said. What's his favorite chocolate? What's, you know what I mean? All the things, just to help me remember. Because sometimes you're not going to remember. And that's okay. So note it down and just be intentional about what they say. And another thing that I would say is, you know, we hear it often, there's love languages, and sometimes we can try to love people how we like to be loved. So it's really being intentional, like what we talked about before in terms of food. For Nick, it's like, okay, well, I can't believe that food is your love language. Like, why don't you like any of the other ones? And I'd be trying to give him all the gifts. Like, I love gifts. I'd be trying to do the most. And for him, it really just is a simple meal. So believe them when they say XYZ. Men are so simple. In this, what they want, they will tell you. And you don't have to do the most. Like, you may want the most, but you don't gotta do the most. Let him do the most if he wants to do that to meet your love language. But if he's telling you, hey, a simple gift will do, hey, a simple meal will do, I just want to spend time with you, trust me, he means it. He's not trying to like psych you out. So yeah, just be intentional, listen, get to know them, be interested, show your interest back. Because now you're with the one. Like, I know sometimes we have this tendency too, when we're dating, we're so elusive, and then we can bring that elusivity into our marriage. Nah, this is your man. Show up. Tell him that he's wanted. Be there. Be intentional.
I love that. And it's for life.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one. That's what you signed up for, right? What I'm hearing you say is basically be a student of your spouse.
Yes.
Right? Like, I love the fact that you're taking notes about, because if we were to be honest, think about yourself at work, think about yourself at church.
Yes.
We take notes during the sermon.
Absolutely.
We take notes at work. Yes. But I love that. I think I'm gonna start doing that. Put the effort in. I wish I took notes 10 years ago, because my notes would be looking a lot different now. But I love that. I love that, being a student of your spouse. And that's a practical way. Because I like the practical application piece that we can show up for our spouses. So thank you for highlighting that. We're coming to a little bit of a close here. So I'm gonna ask you to speak to the folks. Speak to the ladies. And here's what I would ask. If you could sit at the wife table with another wife who's struggling right now. Struggling in their marriage. It could be struggling to show up. It could be whatever their struggle might look like. What would you tell her?
Oh gosh, there's so many things I would say. Let's sit down, let's go for coffee. So many things. I would say give yourself grace. Who you are as well right now in this season is not who you're going to be forever. Really, because we talked about the practical aspects, but spiritually, really also dive deeper into your relationship with the Lord. Because for me, honestly, when I was struggling in that first year of marriage, I started to realize that there was a lot of trauma. There was a lot of things that I hadn't dealt with personally that was affecting the way that I was showing up as well. Like, we oftentimes, when it comes to conflict, are looking at the other person and saying, you're the problem. But the Lord really had to prompt me and say, Tosh, let me show you yourself. The mirror. Get into the word and I'll show you where in you're struggling, right? There's certain things that need to be laid to rest, certain things that you need to surrender. And I will also tell you, it is not a joke when it is said that your relationship with the Lord is going to reflect in the way that you relate with other people. So if you're struggling in your relationship with your husband, you're probably struggling in your relationship with God.
That's a fact. I can second that. Because literally, if there's conflict in my marriage, I look back at my relationship with the Lord and I say, okay, I haven't spoken to him in a while. I've been praying in a while. This makes sense. So I second that.
Absolutely.
I second that. Thank you for sharing that. I think you've really spoken life. And I hope the viewers can take some things away from this chat. There's one last thing I'll leave you to do. And this is something that you'll see all of our guests doing at the wife table. Is I'm going to let you speak from your heart. Okay. Whatever it is that you want to say to whoever's watching, I'm going to give you the floor. Say what's on your heart to them as a wife, as an entrepreneur, whatever perspective you want to speak from, whatever's laid on your heart. I give you the floor now to kind of just share.
Okay. Well, I just want to encourage you, to really just love the Lord and to love your life. I think is one thing that, the Lord has really laid on my heart lately, and I want to share with you is really don't look at anyone else, whether it be on social media, people in real life, to compare or size your relationship or the way that your life has panned out up against. Like, where you are right now, whether good or bad, and maybe even if you're out of the will of God or you're struggling in your relationship with the Lord, it's so easy for you to come back. Like, the Lord is literally sitting there, he's waiting. You're not further behind than anyone else because you don't have access. And that's something that I know the enemy will want to put in your mind is that, you're failing at this, or you're failing at that, or you're struggling here. And you think, okay, well, it's too far gone. And I'm telling you, you are not too far gone. And where God has you, Romans 8:28, we quote it a lot, but it's such a powerful verse of scripture where it says that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord and those that are called according to his purpose. So find yourself in the will of God. You will find that when you're in the will of God, all things will work together for your good according to his purpose. And that the reason why it will work for you is because you're walking in his will. So that's what I would encourage you is give yourself grace and really just everything stems from your relationship with the Lord. From there, you will learn how to be an excellent wife and have fun. Love your life. Live your life. Don't leave anything on the table.
Wow. Yeah. What I'm hearing you say, Tosh, is before you can show up for someone else, you have to show up for yourself.
Yes.
And that investing in yourself, I think you can only pour out of your cup if it's full. Or if there's water in there.
Yes.
And so I second that.
Yeah.
I always share this piece of advice to couples who are before they get married.
Yeah.
And I will encourage those who are not yet married watching to show up for yourself is to seek counseling.
Yes.
Seek help.
Therapy.
Go to therapy. Because as Tosh mentioned, there's things that came up in her marriage. Guess what? There's things that came up in our marriage that were unresolved. And because they were unresolved, they were triggered through conflict and created huge mountains.
Yeah. Obstacles for sure.
Obstacles for us to, all because we didn't show up for ourselves first. So use this time, like Tasha said, to invest in you and in your relationship with the Lord. And we believe that this will take you very, very far. In whatever season that you're in.
Yeah. If I could just add one thing, because I think, you said it, and to the single women specifically, I always like to say this, no matter where I go, and I want to spread that here, is that don't think that where you are, you're in any lack. Enjoy your life in the season that you're in. I like to think of it as two different rooms. There are multiple rooms in life. And some are let out of the room early or at a specific time to move on to the room that is marriage. Some are in marriage and they move on to another room, which is motherhood, parenthood, right? You being in another room is not you being at a different level.
Wow.
Being married is not any more than being single. It's just a different room. It's a different season. So enjoy the season that you are in, knowing that what God has for you, it's full. It's fulsome in the season that you're in. And when the time is right, after the work has been done, and just in God's timing, he'll bring you to that season if that's a desire that he's placed in your heart. But live your life completely and fully. Surrender to the Lord, enjoy, travel, do all the things. Don't let anything be off the table. Go start a business, go buy a house. Do it all and do it with God. And then when the time is right, he will give you that desire if he's placed it in your heart, and it will be well if you enjoy your life. Yeah.
I don't have anything else to add to that.
Yeah.
That I can just drop the mic. I mean, I'm not going to take it off.
The proverbial mic.
Tosh, where can the people follow you? How can they support you? You mentioned you got a book.
Yes.
Tell them about what you're working on. And once again, I'll leave her information below, but if you could just share where they can support you.
Yeah. So I am across multiple platforms. I'm Tasha Russell, as we said, she'll link it. But with social media, I run a very strict schedule of making sure that I rest. So I'm on there and I'm off there, as I encourage everyone to be. But mostly I like to share content, helping women such as yourselves just to thrive in wifehood, and relationships in general. So you can follow me on social media, and I actually have something really exciting coming up, an event for some women. It's in the GTA. We're in Toronto, but who knows? Maybe the Lord will allow it to be international in the future. So just stay tuned. Follow me on social platforms, and yeah.
Amazing. Y'all, with that being said, thank you again for coming to the White Table. Please follow, comment below, subscribe, share this. If this was impactful to you in any way, I want you to share this video with another woman, another wife, whether expectant or current. And I want you to comment below about one thing that stuck out to you and what you're going to take away from the video. We love you so much. Thank you for coming to the White Table. Y'all, until the next time, we'll see you then. Bye.